Hello everyone. The story I'm going to tell you today takes place in Ibaraki Prefecture, Japan. Ibaraki Prefecture is located in the northeastern part of the Kanto Plain, with a developed agricultural and fishing industry. The area of cultivated land here is the second largest in Japan. In the northeast of Ibaraki Prefecture is a city called Hitachi-Ota. This is one of the few regions that produces high-quality buckwheat in Japan. The famous autumn specialty of this prefecture is Hitachiyaki soba, which has a rich, earthy aroma and a gentle sweetness that makes it an unforgettable dish. Today's story begins in a mountain forest in the northern part of Hitachi-Ota City, Ibaraki Prefecture. On June 18, 2022, a Saturday, the local police department was investigating a case in a mountain forest in the northern part of Hitachi-Ota City, Ibaraki Prefecture. During their search, they found a girl hanging from a tree, completely naked. She had handcuffs on, and her face was disfigured. The police speculated that the girl had fallen from the mountain behind and landed on a tree. The location where the girl was found was near a place called Ikuta Falls. This is a fairly secluded location in a lush forest. Because the scenic spot is not well known, not many tourists visit. The forensic examination showed that the girl had bruises on her face and wrists, possibly caused by the handcuffs. There were no obvious wounds on other parts of her body. Her hyoid bone was fractured. This is a horseshoe-shaped bone located in the middle of the front of the neck between the chin and the thyroid cartilage. This condition often occurs from strangulation or hanging. The cause of death was determined to be asphyxiation, and the time of death was about 2 to 3 weeks prior. The police quickly determined that the location where the girl was found was not the initial crime scene. The girl had been brought here. This was clearly not a suicide, but a murder case. The next thing the police had to do was identify the victim. 10 days before the police found the girl, on June 8, 2022, a couple in Tokyo called the police to report that their 23-year-old daughter had left home on June 5th and had not returned for 3 days. "We can't contact her, so we hope the police can help us find her." After verification, it was confirmed that the missing person was the girl found in the forest. The victim's name was Rina Ando, born in 1999 in Tokyo. At the time, she was 23 years old and lived with her family in an apartment in Bunkyo Ward, Tokyo. Bunkyo Ward is located southwest of Hitachi-Ota City, about 100 kilometers from the crime scene. From a young age, Rina lived in a family that was well off. She had an older sister. The family of 4 lived peacefully and happily together. Her father worked for a pharmaceutical company that developed drugs for Alzheimer's and schizophrenia, and her mother was a housewife. She had an elegant demeanor and a beautiful figure like a model. Rina was a sweet and lovely girl from a young age. She was the darling of her family, with a cheerful, lively, and energetic personality. She loved to sing and dance. When she was in elementary school, Rina joined the school's dance club and achieved high results in school dance competitions. Perhaps influenced by her father, Rina dreamed of becoming a pharmacist in the future. She thought it would be great to do her best to save a cancer patient. After graduating from elementary school, Rina attended a combined middle and high school. She made new friends and was exposed to many new things. Rina gradually became more interested in fashion, music, and shopping. She began to pay attention to her appearance and wanted her skin to become whiter and smoother. She often went shopping with friends in Harajuku, Tokyo on school holidays. In high school, Rina's grades plummeted. She didn't focus on her studies and later failed to get into college. With her parents' arrangement, Rina attended a medical training school. Perhaps because the curriculum was too difficult and boring, she couldn't focus on her studies. At that time, Rina had forgotten her initial dream of becoming a pharmacist. She often skipped school and even confronted her parents. At the age of 18, despite her parents' objections, Rina decided to drop out. After a conflict with her family, she left her home in Bunkyo Ward and moved to Shinjuku Ward to rent a cheap apartment near Kabukicho and live alone. To reduce her loneliness, she adopted a cat to keep her company.
Rina later found a job as a bartender in Kabukicho, an entertainment district famous for its adult nightlife. But after deducting rent and living expenses, the money was still not enough for her. Living alone, far from her parents, increased her expenses. Clothing and cosmetics expenses were no longer small amounts for her. Rina wanted to earn more money, and the increasing material temptations made her want to have more things. Therefore, she used a stage name and kept her family a secret, secretly working as a freelance model and actress without signing with a management company. This meant she modeled, advertised herself, and managed her own photo shoot schedules. She even participated in AV video shoots. AV is an abbreviation for adult video. The remuneration also changed significantly depending on the model's popularity and conditions, such as whether or not her face was shown. Those with high remuneration could earn over 200,000 yen, about 1,300 USD at the current exchange rate, for each shoot. With Rina's initial popularity, her remuneration for each shoot was about 100,000 yen, about 650 USD. Rina also opened her own fan club and could earn over 1 million yen, about 6,500 USD, per month. Because there was no management company to protect them, freelance models often had to have direct contact with clients. If they participated in private AV shoots, the filming partners were mostly men, and sometimes there were only 2 people in the studio. In fact, during filming, they might be forced to increase the explicit content, causing controversy. In addition, freelance models might have to go to places they had never been to before and might not even know the identity of their partner. Therefore, hidden risks were unavoidable. Despite this, Rina still chose to pursue this career. To avoid things like changing content during a shoot, she would discuss the details with the client beforehand, and she would only accept a meeting after the client committed to her terms. On one occasion, her family accidentally saw photos of her wearing revealing clothes, which made her parents very angry. But Rina argued, "I'm just a fashion model. That's why I have to wear those clothes." After a lot of explaining, her parents believed her and forgave her. In 2021, when Rina was 22, she decided to move back home to live with her parents. She wanted to gradually change her lifestyle and career. She wanted to get married, have children, and live a normal life like any other woman. Therefore, she wanted to gradually withdraw from the modeling industry. Unfortunately, Rina was ultimately unable to wait for that day. Flashback to June 8, 2022. Rina's parents reported their daughter missing for 3 days. According to Rina's parents, on the morning of June 5, Rina dressed neatly and put on beautiful makeup, then told me, "I'm going out to meet a friend." Then she left the house alone. That evening, when I had finished preparing dinner, my husband and older daughter, who had been at work all day, also came home, but Rina was still not back. We felt a little uneasy because we had called her many times, but her phone was always turned off. Our family initially just thought her phone's battery had run out, but that night, she did not come home. For the next 2 consecutive days, her phone was still turned off. Even her close friends did not know her whereabouts. Worried that our daughter might have gotten into trouble, we decided to call the police. After receiving the report, the police launched an investigation and reconstructed Rina's movements on June 5. On the morning of that day, Rina took a train to Ibaraki Province and arrived at Mito Station around 10 a.m. After that, at the north exit of Mito Station, she got into a man's silver car and traveled to Hitachi-Oda City in the northeast of Ibaraki Province. Based on Rina's online records, she had made an appointment to meet a man on the day she left home, and that man was the photographer she had previously scheduled to meet. Based on surveillance cameras around Mito Station, the police found the license plate number of the silver car and confirmed the identity of the owner. He was the photographer Rina had chosen, a 33-year-old man named Hiroki Sato, a resident of Minami Ashigara City, Kanagawa Province. When the police found Sato, he said, "On June 5, I really did read Rina. I picked her up at Mito Station and then took her to Hitachi-Ota City. This is a villa I bought in 2016, but I only use it occasionally and rarely stay there. Rina and I had a photo shoot there for a short time. Because we had worked there once in March, this photo shoot went very smoothly and was completed quickly. When the shoot ended that afternoon, I drove Rina to the front of an agriculture association 920 meters southwest of my villa. Then I drove away, and I don't know where she went after that." After getting this lead, the investigators immediately went to Sato's villa. The location was at the foot of a mountain with beautiful scenery and fresh air. The villa was 2 stories high with a road in front of it. Southwest of the villa was a hot springs center, and to the east was a sports park. According to neighbors around Sato's villa, Sato bought the villa 6 years ago in 2016. He and his wife lived here for a while before they divorced. Sato then also moved away and would occasionally come here once every 2 months and sometimes stay for a few days. In the past 2 to 3 years, he has often brought different women to the villa. No one knew exactly what he was doing. Just 1 week ago, he came here with a woman who looked pretty and cute, and that woman was none other than Rina. This time, Sato had lived in the villa for a few days before leaving. The distance from the villa to Rina's home in Bunkyo, Tokyo, was about 130 kilometers. Sato once said that on that day, he had driven Rina to the Agricultural Association 920 meters from the villa. With the information provided, the police used Rina's photos and asked residents in the area and passersby. One resident said, "On the afternoon of June 5th, I saw Sato driving a silver car past here with a woman who looked very much like Rina. But that afternoon, no one saw him driving past here again, and no woman like her was seen walking past." It can be seen that everything Sato said was his one-sided testimony, and no one could corroborate it. The police continued to contact Sato to request a search of the villa. After entering the villa, there was a long hallway. To the left was a bedroom, and to the right was a living room. At the end of the hallway on the left was a staircase leading to the second floor and also to the basement. On the first floor of the villa, sharp investigators discovered a mobile phone, which was later confirmed to have been dropped by Rina. Regarding this situation, Sato explained, "I don't know anything. Maybe she forgot to bring her phone when she left that day." Because Sato was the #1 suspect, the police confiscated his phone and took it to the station for investigation. Technicians examined and recovered the data on Sato's mobile phone. As a result, they discovered a large number of AV videos, including a video of Rina being held captive in a suffocating dark environment. The geographical location information recorded on the video determined that Rina was in Sato's villa at that time. After obtaining this important evidence, on June 14th, 9 days after Rina went missing, the police went to an apartment building in Minami Ashigara City, Kanagawa Prefecture, and officially arrested Sato on suspicion of illegal confinement. After obtaining a search warrant, investigators went to Sato's villa to conduct a more detailed search. They collected some hair strands on a blanket on the first floor, and found a damp mattress in the bathroom on the second floor that looked like it had just been cleaned. Rina's DNA was later found on the mattress. At the same time, they found a soil-stained shovel and dozens of hair strands in the basement. After forensic examination, they confirmed that the hair strands belonged to Sato and Rina. Based on the clues, the police speculated that Rina may have been confined by Sato or even murdered. On that day, the two of them filmed in the basement of the villa. After the filming was over, Sato did not let Rina leave, but confined her in the basement. After that, Sato took Rina out of the villa and hid her somewhere. After being arrested, Sato admitted, "I handcuffed Rina during the filming, but I only did it with her consent." Sato denied harming Rina and stated, "I don't know Rina's current whereabouts." The police used Sato's driving records and determined that he had driven to a forest 2 kilometers northeast of the villa. The location was at the end of a forest road. Therefore, the investigation team began to walk along the location to search. 3 days after Sato was arrested, on June 18, 2022, they found Rina in the low-lying area near Ikuta Falls, north of where Sato parked his car. She was hanging from a tree with her hands cuffed, with no signs of life. It was speculated that she had been thrown down the mountain. The location where Rina was found was 136 kilometers from her home and 2.4 kilometers from Sato's villa.
Around the area, the police found newly dug holes, empty cans, and tape. After testing in the lab, the soil in the holes was determined to have the same composition as the soil on the shovel in the basement of Sato's villa. His DNA was extracted from the can, and Rina's DNA was extracted from the tape. In addition, the material and style of the tape were also the same as the type found in Sato's villa. All the evidence pointed to the culprit being Sato. The culprit, Sato, was born in Kodama City in the center of Fukushima Prefecture in September 1988. At the time of the crime, he was 33 years old, the eldest of 3 children. Sato came from a wealthy family. His father was an excellent employee at a large company, and his mother had opened a hair salon and later became a housewife. When Sato was in kindergarten, his father was sent by the company to an auto parts factory in the United States to provide technical guidance. Then the whole family moved to Ohio. Ohio has a cold climate. They initially had difficulty adapting and also experienced many health problems when they first arrived. Time flew by, and his family lived in Ohio for 8 years. In 2001, when Sato was 13, his father finished his work in the US and brought his family back to Japan to live, while also building a new house in Kodama City, Fukushima Prefecture. After returning to his hometown, Sato enrolled in a local public high school. Because he had lived in the US for a long time, his English was very good. Although Sato was not tall, he was very good at basketball and was part of the school's basketball club. Sato was a popular and admired person at school, and his classmates praised him as a genius in both academics and sports. But his rebellious nature also gradually emerged at that time. According to one of his close friends, Sato had a bad temper, often got angry, and even threw things around the house, which was very different from his behavior at school. In 2003, at the age of 15, Sato graduated from middle school with excellent academic results. He was admitted to a high school and joined the school's trampoline club. He later represented the school in the National High School Championship. After graduating from high school, with the parents' arrangement, Sato studied abroad at the University of South Alabama in the US. After graduating from college, Sato returned to Japan and found a job near home at a company that dealt with semiconductors and chemicals. Sato was involved in improving the design of the production line. He worked diligently and seriously and was promoted to a department head at the main company in less than 2 years. During that time, Sato married his high school classmate. After getting married, in November 2016, when Sato was 28, he borrowed 14 million yen, about $90,000 at the current exchange rate, to buy a villa in Hitachi-Ota City in the northeast of Ibaraki Prefecture, which is the same place where he later confined and murdered Rina.
1 month after buying the villa, on December 5, 2016, Sato was arrested on suspicion of assaulting a police officer. For the next 2 months, he continuously caused trouble and was arrested. In January 2017, Sato accosted a strange woman on the street in Hitachi Ota. He was then arrested by the police on suspicion of assault, causing injury and indecent acts. On February 25, 2017, he was again arrested for accosting a woman. Facing multiple charges, Sato was always able to get away with it by paying high settlement fees with the help of his parents. After reaching an agreement, he was not prosecuted, and his repeated escapes from prison paved the way for him to commit serious crimes in the future. After repeatedly causing trouble without remorse, his wife filed for a divorce. After the divorce, they no longer had any contact. Sato moved out of the house in Hitachi Ota, Ibaraki Prefecture, and moved to live in Minami Ashigara City, in the western part of Kanagawa Prefecture. The two areas are 200 kilometers apart. Sato then worked at a local film company and later quit. From then on, he became addicted to social media and constantly met and filmed with AV actresses and models to satisfy his lustful desires.
4 months before the incident, in mid-February 2022, the 33-year-old Sato befriended the 23-year-old Reena on Twitter. The reason was that Sato had posted an invitation for a model photo shoot on Twitter. The shoot was scheduled from February 23rd to February 27th, or from March 3rd to March 6th. The shooting location was Hitachi Ota City, Ibaraki Prefecture, with a fee of 60,000 yen, about 390 USD, for a 3-hour shoot. Meanwhile, Reena also received a photo shoot invitation from Tokyo, which required her to take a 2.5-hour train ride to the photo shoot location in Ibaraki Prefecture under similar conditions. But Reena's fee would be no less than 100,000 yen, about 650 USD. Sato, on the other hand, only paid 60,000 yen. Therefore, Reena initially rejected Sato's invitation. However, he did not give up, but continued to negotiate with Reena and finally reached an agreement at a price of 120,000 yen, about 780 USD. In early March, the two completed their first transaction and kept in touch ever since. On the day of the crime, June 5th, it was the second transaction between the two. Just like the previous time, Reena took a train to Hitachi Ota City in Ibaraki Prefecture and then went to Sato's villa. On that day, Sato took Reena to the basement of the villa, where he had prepared filming equipment and tools. The basement was not furnished with any other furniture, only a mattress. Sato liked to shoot videos and had prepared various props such as handcuffs, ropes, and whips. At 11 a.m., during the filming, Sato handcuffed Reena and used his phone to record the entire intimate process. During the filming, Sato lost control of himself. He put his arm around Reena's neck and strangled her to death. After committing the crime, Sato was extremely frightened, so he disfigured Reena's face to make her difficult to identify and dumped her body in a mountain forest 2.4 kilometers from the villa. When he was arrested, he only admitted to handcuffing the victim and denied the murder. It wasn't until June 18, 2022, based on the driving data from his car, that Reena's body was found, and then he confessed to all his crimes. A classmate of Sato's said that Sato was a student who had returned from studying abroad in the US. His family was wealthy due to his father's job, so he and his family returned to Japan and completed middle school and high school in Kodama City, Fukushima Prefecture. In the eyes of those around him, he was a very well-behaved child and never caused trouble.
But all of this changed significantly after he grew up. It is unclear if it was related to his later study abroad experience. Sato began to frequently harass women. Even when he was arrested and punished by the police, he showed no remorse. A resident living near Sato's villa said that after he and his wife moved in, Sato would often smile and greet the neighbors. "I've never seen him frown. He seemed like a very simple, kind, and easygoing person who didn't leave a bad impression on others." According to a neighbor who knew Sato, he began to act abnormally in middle school, often getting angry at his parents and throwing things around in the middle of the night. Sato's grandfather sadly said, "Sato's father was busy with work and never cared about his son's studies or life. Maybe it was the lack of a father's love during his upbringing that made the boy's personality abnormal. In the end, the boy committed an unforgivable and heinous crime." At the time the case was reported, the case had not yet been tried in court. However, what is certain is that Sato will face the severe punishment of the law. In a few countries, they focus on developing content for people with a passion for adult content. Japan is a country with the most famous AV industry. Japan's AV industry is considered to be the largest on the planet, accounting for 20% of the global industry and generating billions of dollars in profit each year. For a long time, AV films have been considered one of the characteristics of Japan. This country prohibits prostitution, but legalizes the AV film industry. In the Japanese adult entertainment industry, Rina Ando was a freelance model, an actress, and a popular AV star among men. She often took on provocative photoshoots and nude photoshoots and charged a price of 100,000 yen, about $650 for each shoot. In addition, Reena also took on bold roles containing many explicit elements. According to the newspaper Shukan Hosei Prime, she received about $1,000 for a photo on a paid adult platform. Besides the development, the downsides and potential risks of this industry are also significant, as exemplified by Reena's case. In addition, another name in the AV industry that cannot go unmentioned is Maria Ozawa. Maria Ozawa was an excellent student at an international school in Hokkaido. She was very good at English. That's why when she dropped out of school to join the AV industry, her parents gave her a severe slap. The family announced they would disown her if she did not stop and choose another path. Unable to accept their daughter doing a job that was looked down upon by society, Ozawa's parents cut off all ties with her and resolutely refused the money their daughter sent back. In addition, she was not allowed to visit home. Her parents even told the neighbors that their daughter had died in a car accident. Although there are many dark sides and potential risks behind this lucrative industry, many Japanese girls still choose to pursue this difficult career path. Everyone has their own choices at a certain time, and time will help each person answer all the questions in their hearts. But sometimes it may be too late to turn back. Today's video ends here, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.